Alright, guys, I just got home from the theater, and honestly, there's nothing more I'd love to do right now than fucking sleep. It's almost 1 a.m., but I feel like I won't be able to get a good sleep unless I get all of this shit off of my chest, right? So, first things first, let me just say up front, this movie was a fucking 10 out of 10. I was engaged from start to finish. I was mesmerized. Some of my favorite YouTubers were like 3 hours just to see someone gliding on the water, just to see, woo 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 woo, just to wow us and woo us with graphics or whatever. Way too much time. Could have cut half of that woo. I absolutely disagree. I absolutely disagree. See, the fucking good thing about this movie, the fact that it took so long to come out, I needed to see why it took that long to come out. And let me fucking tell you, I get it. I get it. There is no way a movie like that could be made in a year. You hear that, Marvel? If you want your movie to look like it's underwater, you gotta take fucking time on it. And if you want it to look like underwater but interesting, Disney, Marvel, Little Mermaid, you have to like fucking really just take time with that. And I saw it and I felt it. You think they wanted to make this movie 3 hours? No. No. They probably knew they were way in over their heads, right? 3 hours, oof, I don't know if people are gonna like that. That's a long time, right? 3 hours, oof. But they were so in love and had so much time to really sprinkle all of their expertise into these effects, into these graphics, into acting was top tier. Jesus, the acting was so good. Now, Zoe Saldana, you already know she's gonna act her ass off. You already know. You already know. Jake was given everything. The corporal or whatever the fuck he is. He was giving everything. Even the kids, bro. Good kid actors? Are you kidding? I want everybody to hear this. And like, I already know my watch duration is fucking terrible. So let me say this now before people click off of this video. We have got to put to rest. There's this cliche in media. There's this cliche in movies, shows, whatever, where there's the bratty little brother who does a series of events that gets the older person killed. Like, I went into this movie knowing the older brother would die, right? Just by how, oh, you're responsible for this absolute chaotic brat. You're responsible for him. And then his wife, I forget her name, so we're going to call her Zoe Saldana. She's like, hey, you're too hard on him. And he's like, yeah, I know. I'm their father. And she's like, this is a family, not a team, not a not a fucking brigade or whatever she said. It was hilarious. I was like, right, she's got a point. My thing is, and I guess there was thematic relevance, right? Sully stick together, something like that. Why the fuck are they bringing the baby everywhere? Especially after the first time they got kidnapped. Now, that first time they got kidnapped, absolutely stupid idea, right? Absolutely dumb idea to bring the baby. Because they know that there's sky people interactions happening, right? Aggressive ones. There's sort of a war going on. Yet you're bringing your baby sister everywhere, right? Because Sully stick together, I guess, right? Because all throughout the movie, I was wondering, why the fuck do they keep bringing the baby? But at the end, and I guess throughout the movie, I can't really remember that well, but I guess it was like this mantra, Sully, stick together. And then the whole thing about, what's his name? The corporal cloning himself before dying. What the fuck? We really can't find a better villain? We have to have the same guy? But I guess in this, like, technologically advanced future or whatever, whenever this fucking movie takes place, I guess that's not far-fetched. A clone, that makes sense, right? I guess it makes sense. Another thing that I kind of picked up on, I knew at some point the corporal was gonna have fatherly feelings towards his son, right? Because he said too blatantly, oh, like, you're not my son, I have nothing, to offer you, woo woo. But come fly with me. Part of my brain was teetering back and forth between, okay, this is obviously he's gonna try and get him comfortable and win him over. And what is his name? Sprinkles? Sparkles? Spike? Sam? No, he had like a dog name. Spike. No, give me a second. Spider. Spider, what I thought was going to happen, he was going to slowly, you know, the fucking Tarzan treatment, where Tarzan brings the white people into the forest, into the gorilla nests, and then boom, they're all captured. But he was only able to do that because Jane and her dad and Clayton kind of won him over. They're like, oh, trust us or whatever. And he's like, okay. And so he shows them. And then boom, the gorillas get fucking captured, Kerchak dies, so on and so forth. So I thought something more along those lines was gonna happen. See, here's this kid who didn't really fit in, but here's his chance at like a relationship with his father, and he's like, well, I never really knew you. But as the movie went along and he was just disgusted by his father's actions, I was like, okay, good. He's still on our side, right? He's still on the good side of things. Then this motherfucker saves him at the end. Are you shitting me? And what I chalked it up to was Zoe Saldana, her character, after her son died, right? And she threatened the corporal with Spider. She threatens to kill Spider, and the corporal was like, wait, no! And he lets Kitty go, right? That's when I think Spider was like, oh shit, this guy isn't all bad. And hey, he may be a monster, but he cares about me, right? He may be a monster, but he's my father, and he cares about me, right? And in that moment, when Zoe Saldana's like a son for a son, she kind of made that connection purposely, right? Like, let my daughter go, right? But at the same time, it was a double-edged sword. I said that weird. It was a double-edged sword because Spike is now like, oh, fuck, I am his son. And he didn't want me to die. So he's my father. You know what I mean? And then it was genuine, you know? Like at the end, after Spike saves him, he's like, yeah, I want you to come with me. And he's like, no, you're a terrible person. But Spike, you just saved this terrible person who is never going to stop until your chosen family is dead. So what are you doing? What did you do? You just killed your family. Anybody who dies from this point forward, it's honestly, it's at the hand of Spider. It's on his hands, because what are you doing saving someone who is literally hunting, who literally had your brother figure killed? What are you doing? Like, do you have Stockholm syndrome? Like, what's going on? No, seriously. But yeah, let's get back to this fucking trope where the little bratty brother gets the older brother killed. Oh my god. The younger brother was so goddamn annoying. He was so bad to the point where it was almost a plot contrivance. Almost, right? Because it was established from the very beginning. Here's a troublemaker. He doesn't fear anything. He's not afraid of shit, right? It was established from the beginning, so that's why I'm gonna say it's not a plot contrivance. That he, again, has, like, zero amount of thought and throws himself to the wolves, basically. Right? So, we'll say it's not a plot contrivance, but at some point, you have to be less fucking stupid. You cannot be that stupid. What? And then, oh my god. I hate crying at movie theaters, but I cried a little bit because the ending scene was beautiful, where the mom and the dad got to be with their son one last time, see him growing up, hunting fish. You know, he caught his very first fish and he was so excited, and he's like, Dad, look. That kind of hurt a little bit. And honestly, I could cry right now thinking about it. Like, I feel a little emotional right now. But that was really fucking sad. And I guess that's what's going to motivate him in the next movie to go back home, right? And that is his son's last words. I want to go back home. And so how I thought this movie was going to end, I thought the movie would end with them going home, right? But it doesn't. It ends with them laying their son to rest underwater. Very fucking sad. Like, I can't really get over that. That was really sad. We have to lay to rest this fucking trope where the little bratty brother gets the adult brother killed. We have to lay that to rest. Why couldn't there have been some better setup, right? Because you have to think about it. The entire war starts because of the little brother's actions, right? Jake's like, oh, we're just gonna save whale by whale, right? Like, me, I'm an adult. So whenever there's a whale with a tracker on it, tell me, I'll fucking shut off the thingamajig. But no, all because of this one whale, the younger brother is like, hey, no, like, to his older brother, you're not my brother, right? This whale is my brother. I know how it feels to be an outcast. What the fuck? Like, what was he even talking about? He wasn't an outcast. He was just a bad kid. Like, what? Outcast means you don't fit in. It doesn't mean, oh, you get in so much trouble. Like, oh, your dad yells at you a little bit more than your older brother. That's not what being an outcast is. That's being someone who has a really big fucking ego as a child. That's just like younger fucking sibling syndrome or some shit. But he wasn't an outcast. He was not an outcast. And, maybe when they got to the water people's location, maybe then all of them were outcasts. But I just don't understand this, like, the little brother's motivation. Like, I'm an outcast. What the fuck? No, you're not. You just can't live up to your big brother's big shoes. There's a very big difference. Another thing. Why were the whale hunters trying to, and I guess killing the avatars? What the hell was that about? I'm sorry, was the corporal paying them to also kill people? Were they always, like, murderous to people? Like, hunting whales is one thing. Like, having the moral, blackness to be like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna kill this whale just for this brain goop or whatever that stops human aging, right? I'm gonna kill this whale, right? It takes another sort of demon to, like, pillage a village and shoot people. Like, what the hell? Like, I don't know. That, like, I was kind of like, what? I thought they were whale hunters. Now they're just fine with being in a war? What? And then I also don't feel too good about, I don't know. I don't feel like reconciliation was really made between the son and the dad, but I guess that's, next movie could do that. Because, honestly, everything was his fault. And I feel like I'd feel a little bit better after the movie if it was something like, hey, war was going to happen regardless, which it was, right? It was. But Sully's plan, Jake's plan for that was, hey, we're just gonna, the whales are the bait. They want us to come after them, obviously. And after the first kidnapping, the kids knew they were valuable hostages. They knew they were valuable hostages and that their dad would risk everything coming after them. They knew that. They knew that. And for them to willy-nilly just keep going out as if shit isn't at war right now, as if the people who want them dead aren't nearby looking for them, absolutely asinine. Absolutely nonsensical. And so that's why it kind of feels a little contrived that the younger brother would just keep doing all of this shit knowing the stakes. His actions don't just affect him. His actions drags his father and therein drags the entire nation that they're staying in right now, which, hey, isn't even their natural home. It drags everybody into it. And just for him to be that selfish, it's like, come on. That's like nearing antisocial. Like, what the fuck? I don't know. It was a really good movie, though. Like, that's why I'm passionate about it. I don't want you to think, like, I'm complaining about it. I'm just complaining about this character. Like, god damn. You know what I mean? Like, how could you be this way? I knew. When the younger brother was like, let's go back and get Spike. I already knew. Oh, that's it. That's where the older brother's gonna die. I knew it. I didn't need to see shit else. I knew. I knew. I didn't know it was gonna be like a hostage situation. I didn't know if he was gonna get shot. I don't know if he was gonna drown. But I knew that was it for him. I knew somewhere in this mission to pick up Spike, he was dead. And he was done. I knew it. Now, I was expecting some, magical tree or something to bring him back to life or something like that. But it didn't, which I actually appreciated because I hate fake deaths. And, like, in the beginning, it kind of, I don't know, all this shit about, like, Kitty, like, how she was born. I don't really understand that because what's-her-name was dead. So, I really don't understand that. Like, her mom was dead. The lady in the tank was dead. Don't know how she gave birth. Don't know any of that, but sure, I'll bite. And then again with the corporal, like a clone, okay, I guess this is sciencey and techie, whatever, sure. But at this point, I was like, yeah, I don't know, maybe some strings could be pulled for the brother, but no strings were pulled. He died. And then just to point out a few scenes that I really liked any overhead shot was just absolutely magnificent. And I really loved, my favorite shot was that shot with the younger brother and the outcast whale, where the whale extends its good flipper. It extends its good flipper all the way out. And the younger brother looks like a little thing next to it in comparison. He just looks like a little thing floating in the ocean compared to him. And it just really put in perspective for me, how little us humans are compared to, like, the great gentle giants of Earth. You know what I mean? And it was just a good shot because it just stood for a lot, Here's whale hunting. Here's people who don't respect nature at all. They're just destroying everything. Like, just, with no regard for any kind of life whatsoever. And the scenes of them, the sky people, pillaging the aquatic people's islands, it was fucking triggering, to say the very least. I also wanted to make note of the scene where Jake tells his younger son to apply pressure on his older son's wound, his gunshot wound in the fucking chest. And it, like, came out through his neck. Oh my god. Told him to put pressure on it. And, he sits back and he looks at his hands. And his brother's blood was literally on his hands. Thought that was fucking cool. I thought it was super cool that the aquatic lady, like the queen, was out fighting the war. Like, girl, you should be sitting back somewhere. But I guess it was personal for her since her favorite whale, her spirit sister whale, was killed along with the calf. It's fucking awful. Like, really disgusting. But yeah, to conclude my thoughts, the world building was a fucking 12 out of 10. The graphics were a 12 out of 10. The shots, there isn't a bad shot in the movie. Like, if you screenshot at any moment, fucking beautiful, spectacular. I understand why it took so long to come out, because I could feel the blood, sweat, tears, and passion in this fucking project. You could tell this was a fucking passion project. You can tell, man, like, for real. Other than that, oh my god, I have nothing bad to say about this movie. I just wanted to complain about the fucking character, man. The little fucking brother. And I hope that fucking trope dies out, man. I hope it dies out. But I do think I preferred the older brother die, because if you think about the reverse, that's even sadder, bro. Like, imagine if the younger brother died, right? And the older brother was like, damn, dad only gave me one job, to protect him. And I couldn't do that. Like, he would blame himself forever. And it's not even his fault, right? And there's something about that just makes me even more upset. Like, you're going to blame yourself and there's nothing you can do about this chaotic, brainless idiot, because the brother is just, he's thoughtless. Like, why would he, like that scene where he goes outside the reef with the aquatic people, where he almost died. They tried to fucking kill him by doing that, by the way. Especially if they knew that there was, like, meat eaters and shit out there. They tried to kill him. But he was dumb enough to be like, yeah, okay, yeah, let's do it. He even says, at first he's like, yeah, my dad says I'm not allowed to go out there or whatever. And they're like, sorry, we thought you were a man. And that's literally all it took. And it's like, I understand, like, childhood. I understand, like, masculinity and stuff like that. Wanting to prove yourself to fit in and stuff. But at some point, okay, that made sense, right? That made sense for him to go out there and do that. But he should have learned his lesson from there. But he didn't. How did you not learn your lesson when you disobeyed your dad twice? You almost died both times. In the same movie. What is this? How what is the duration of this movie? How long does this cover? A couple months? A couple weeks? Well, in a couple months or a couple weeks, you almost died 2 or 3 times by disobeying your dad. Do you not value your life? And so that's why it sometimes feels like a contrivance that he just, okay, he doesn't care about his life, right? Cool, whatever. You know, who cares? Some people are like that. But taking into account Sully stick together, so you know everybody's going to follow you. You know your baby sister, who's like 5, the girl you like. You know all these people are going to follow you if you go out when your dad said, hey, we're going to, do anything to stop a war. What he wants, the corporal, is a war. He is specifically targeting these whales so we come out and fight. So we're not going to do that. Like, he was in the room for that. He heard that. And for him to just go out there regardless, like, I'm not going to abandon him. Absolutely fucking stupid. They all could have died there. Then what? Over a whale. Like, I get it. I really get it. He bonded with the whale and whatnot. But at some point, you have to be like, my family is more important than this. My dad said if I do this, it could start a war. And these people who opened their home to us, along with my dad, along with my mom and my sisters and my brother, we could all die from this one thing I'm doing. And it's like he had no fucking regard for that. Like, I feel like it didn't even cross his mind. And I just fucking hate characters like that. Like, there has to be some plot-born thing that would have made the war come to them, right? There should have been some plot-related thing. Like, it would have made more sense if the younger brother learned his lesson. Okay, I'm not gonna do shit like that anymore. I'm not gonna risk it all anymore, right? And then, I don't know, maybe he's out with his little girlfriend, who's really pretty, by the way. I want to see what actress that is, because she was really pretty. Maybe he's out with her, and they're, like, fishing or having some romantic thing or something going on. And they get tracked that way. Then it's even more, heartbreaking, because it's like, he learned his lesson. He wasn't even, trying to stir trouble. And then maybe have Jake be like, oh, you're always fucking causing trouble. And then it's double heartbreak, like triple heartbreaking, because no, this time he actually wasn't looking for trouble. He wasn't causing trouble. He wasn't disobeying your orders. He was actually just hanging out with his girlfriend. That's it. And trouble found him this time. That would have been more impactful, in my opinion. And then I wouldn't even be able to say, oh, this is almost a plot contrivance. Because then that would have been good fucking, like, writing. That would have been a good fucking issue. But then, the blood really wouldn't be on his hands that much. But he could still think that, and he could come to terms with the fact, in the next movies, hey, I did nothing wrong. I was just out with my girlfriend, and that could help his depression coming up. I'm certain is gonna fucking come up. He's gonna be depressed over this. He has to be. It's his brother. But now it's just, oh fuck, everything was his fault. He was just dumb. He never learned his lesson. And I guess maybe now with the death of his brother, maybe now he learned his lesson. Anyways, that all being said, I fucking loved this movie. I thought it was super good, super great. Isn't there gonna be a new Avatar movie every 2 years? In any case, I cannot wait to see the next installment. Cannot wait to see where it goes. And I'm going to get some sleep because I am so tired. Good night. Bye. Comment, like, and subscribe. I'm going to see Megan. That'll be the next movie I talk about. So I'll see you guys then. Bye-bye.